Robin Hood, I am grateful for you. I have been for years and years and years. The good that you've done, the destinies you've changed, the people you have empowered. At a time where we're on a global knowledge-based economy, we know that the greatest natural resource that any nation has is the genius of its children. And genius is equally distributed all throughout the world. As many geniuses are born per capita in Newark, New Jersey as in Beverly Hills, California. But America has a shameful reality that being one of the wealthiest countries on the planet, actually the wealthiest nation, we actually have the highest rates of child poverty. And child poverty is costing us that genius. It is leading to so many other challenges. Indeed, I am grateful for you all because you have had this audacious belief that every child in America can have what should be an American birthright. It have a foundation underneath them where their genius can truly blossom. Poverty in our country, one of the highest rates of all the industrial nations, poverty in our country is a policy choice. We have decided to be a nation with this high degree of tolerance for so much injustice. And now we should recognize that we can make different policy decisions to end this national nightmare. Child poverty is one of the most costly things we are doing to ourselves, not just some children, but to ourselves. For example, the National Academy of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine found that child poverty costs our country $1 trillion a year, or about 5.4% of our GDP. Children in poverty have higher healthcare costs, have higher likelihood to be involved with the criminal justice system, have higher costs to society overall. While the flip side is that children who are growing up without poverty make greater contributions, tap into their potential and their genius, and change not just the destinies for themselves, but the destinies for families, communities, cities, the nation, and the world. And so I am working in Washington on what I believe has got to be the greatest cut to child poverty that we have seen ever in America. And it lies in what the Biden administration is already including for 1 year in this COVID package they are pushing, and that is a massive expansion of the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit. Yet not the sexiest sounding policy, but the truth is it could be one of the greatest things we achieve in this decade for the world, for our country. And so the child tax credit, the way it's designed right now, is too small, and about 27 million eligible children don't collect the fullness of the benefit because it's not fully refundable. And so the proposal in this COVID package is to massively expand that credit, to provide a monthly tax credit of $300 per month or $3,600 per year for children under 6, and $250 per month and $3,000 per child for children over 6 years old. This would have a profound impact. To make it fully refundable, to disperse it monthly, would be a game changer for tens of millions of American children and families. And if we can make this permanent, which is one of the greatest causes I have of my lifetime, to make this permanent in the package, the relief package that will hopefully come after this COVID relief package, to make this permanent would be a game changer for the United States of America. It would unlock the genius and potential. It would put us on par with our peer countries in terms of the dramatic lowering of child poverty rates. And so I hope you will join me in this American movement. We already use our tax code to help people with wealth get more wealth. Heck, our mortgage interest deduction, a policy decision, is something I support, but is overwhelmingly a tax expenditure that's used by people that make over $250,000 a year. Why aren't we doing the enlightened self-interest of using our tax code to unlock even greater wealth for our society? Every dollar spent towards programs like expanding the CTC, the child tax credit, saves us about $7 as a society. Why aren't we being more enlightened with our tax code and using it to help Americans through the child tax credit and the expansion of the earned income tax credit? We should make this a movement. We should all commit ourselves to this policy change. Now, I'm down in Washington. There are lobbyists for everything. Every industry, every sector has lobbyists who spend billions of dollars trying to move American policy. We should all commit ourselves to being lobbyists for our children, for our nation's destiny, for the moral urgency of ending child poverty in America. If we make this policy happen, it will not only be the greatest cut in child poverty in our nation ever, but it will plant seeds for a future harvest of great abundance for our nation and help, from a national security perspective, help ensure American strength for generations to come. I hope you'll join me, and I support the other things that we are talking about, and I know you will be discussing, from housing policy all the way to the urgency around childhood nutrition issues. All of these are things that we can and must do something about. Thank you all.